All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Maximize Monday Zango Opportunity Call, where we have different leaders each week sharing the Zango opportunity from their own perspective. Zango has products and opportunities worldwide for people of all generations, and many different products that we have you can build an entire business on, and many people do. And so tonight we're going to have a network marketing industry legend, a million-dollar earner, a multi-million-dollar earner, one of the very first with Zango, been with us almost from the very beginning. My very good friends who I used to get to hang out with when I lived in Florida for a couple of years, and they are probably the most sincere, the most fun, and the most awesome people you're ever going to meet in your entire life. And that is our Zango 200K Premiers, Steve and Cindy Hall. So, Steve, tell us about this Zango opportunity.
After that outrageous introduction, I don't want to say a thing. It was fun. We missed you. But first of all, Collie, I know you've been under the weather a little bit, and you and Sandy do a great job putting these calls on, and they benefit everybody. And I know I got to follow Grace and Bob Dick, and they did such a great job. I heard they're on the line, but it's an honor being on here. We got it on backwards. How many ways we're going to do with the slides? But our story, you wanted us to tell your story or our story. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride, massive action, just like everybody else. I think everybody, when you put that pin on and you hit Premier, you hit 100K or whatever up the line, people just think it was an accident. But we're calling from hot Florida, beautiful Florida. We're not complaining like John and Gino over there with the snow and the rain, but we're down here. But we were introduced, like you said, to Zango in, I think, April or May of 2003. And it's been a fantastic trip. We've been to Thailand, we've been to Rome and Venice and Hawaii and Mexico, and a lot of opportunities you get. But when we first came to Florida, we moved to Florida. We had our house up for sale, and I was with another legal service company, and just doing fantastic. And it's just like I know your background, some of the things people don't realize, the ups and downs, and it's just the idea of not quitting, I guess. But we moved to Florida. We'd always talked about coming down here. Cindy always wanted to get away from the snow. We were originally from Akron, Canton, Ohio area, so up by Lake Erie, we know all about the snow and things. We were living the dream. But like I said, our life is kind of like a roller coaster ride, and if you talk to anybody that's been successful, it's just the idea that they've made some mistakes, they've had some failures, but they get up and they do it over and over again, just like Grace and Bob talked about last week, and everyone you have on here, Ed and Sandy, the same things, just different part of the country. But we came down here, and we lived by the Football Hall of Fame in Akron, Canton, and one time I was flying down there. I was doing some seminars for another legal service company, making a lot of money, and in the plane they had an article about this World Golf Hall of Fame, and our son was playing golf in college, and I thought it'd be great, and we pulled in down here. We went there 5 minutes, and we were going to Valdosta, Georgia to see one of Cindy's relatives, and we pulled by the place. We were here about 5 minutes, and she's writing a check. And I said, I know you want to go to Florida, but what are you writing a check for? You know, I said, we're 1,000 miles from home. She said, no, you are. So, you know, the women control things. So at that time, we were doing well. We were making excess of $250,000 a year. I came down here with 3 new Cadillacs and a Cadillac SDS and Lantes, and everything's gone crazy, having a good time. But a lot of times you look and think things are greener on the other side of the street, and I had a friend had this idea of maybe us starting our own business and in a similar field, and we had a lot of attorneys and different things who want to do something. So that income went away, and before you know it, just like Ed and Sandy talked about, you make a mistake, and life, it's not the results, it's what you do with the results. But the dreams ended, and that income went away, and before you know it, didn't take long that we were several $100,000 in the red. And we just built a new house, and we were in the process of possibly losing the house. And I went from earning that kind of money down to where, not that it's too good to do that, but I was working for my sister-in-law, making $10 an hour. So you drop from $20,000, $25,000 a month to $10 an hour. That's a little bit of a shock. Cindy was sitting in model homes, and we were doing everything to try to figure out how we was going to keep our home. And then I got a call from a friend of mine in Michigan that I'd been in business with before, and every time you get a call, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he found the real deal. And fortunate for us, I happened to be at Cindy's sister's house, who moved down from Maryland. She was a clerk treasurer, didn't have anything to do with network marketing, didn't know anything about it. But he's calling me, he's telling me this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we live on a 50-acre lake down here. And and I said, yeah, sarcastic comment like we all have gotten from other people. It's just like your relatives, you know, they'll give you the same comments. But I said, yeah, you drink the juice, you walk on water, and all this other stuff. But after the conversation, I hung up the phone, and my sister was just going yippee skippy. She was crazy over this stuff, thinking about it anyway, because she didn't like doctors. She had some inflammation in her knee. I'm not making any claims or anything, but she had some inflammation in her knee. And she kept badgering me about this juice. And I said, Nancy, it's just another deal. I said, your house is paid for. Cindy and I are going crazy. I'm working with you 12, 16 hours a day. Cindy's working. We're trying to figure out how we can stay afloat. You know, we made a couple bad mistakes and things like that, but she kept on and on. So I called my friend back, and he sent a bottle of juice down. And I took it over, and I gave him, and I said, here's this stuff you want. And a couple days later, she's just gone crazy. She had no experience in sales, but the product worked on her. And she didn't have no pain in her knee, and she wanted to get involved. I said, I didn't have, at that time, most people were buying at least 1 or 2 cases. Honestly, I didn't have, and it's kind of embarrassing but that's the way life is. I didn't have the money. I'll put up the money. So I figured, well, you know, just to get her off my back, I'll sign up. I'll get a couple cases of the juice. She's going to give me the money. I can try to unload this stuff. If not, I'll throw it in the lake in the back, and then I'll go back to trying to figure out how I can keep my marriage and all this other stuff, because it wasn't real comfortable at home at that time. Well, you know, Cindy's not real big. Sometimes you've got to stand on a chair for me to see her, but she's pretty strong and powerful. We've been together for over 30-some years. I got a great marriage. She's a wonderful lady. She's helped me a million times. And the women, if the guys that's on the call, if you have the support of your wife, it's tremendous. But she wasn't real supportive at that time. She came home, and she slammed the door. She was so ticked off that night when she found out I got involved in a business, and I got her sister. She said, it's bad enough we're going to get back in another one of these things where we're in the process of losing our house and everything's going down a drain. You'd think you'd learn something, and by that you've got my relative involved. So, you know, now it doesn't cost anything to sign up in Zango, but back then it was a whopping $35 and you buy this stuff. Well, the funny thing about it is I just had to do it, and I don't know. I just didn't see any other way out. So I told a couple people, and like my sister-in-law liked it, and a few other people liked it, and then they start calling and back for more juice and this and that. And I said, this isn't going to work. I said, I'm not going to run all over St. Augustine and Jacksonville dropping off bottles of juice. And at that time, I was working 12 to 16 hours a day for my sister-in-law, and I'm calling on the phone. I got this new product. Well, I can't take fruit juice. It gives me the runs, this and that. I don't like that. Oh, it's another one of pyramid schemes. And I'm making hundreds of phone calls and doing everything I could do to survive. We're in our mid-50s, and we're going to lose everything we own. So for some of the people on the line, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. We had a definite cause, a definite reason for survival. It's a different thing. So when she came home, she slammed the door, and she was so upset about it. But I got involved. She wouldn't even sign the application. And we show this to people a lot of time. We joke about it. Like I said, we have a fantastic relationship. A lot of people they don't understand unless they've seen us at a few meetings. But we tease, and we have a great time together. But she wouldn't sign the application. So the first few months, it was just Steve Hall when I got the checks. And they weren't whopping. My first check was like $88. But the funny thing about it, a couple months down the road, I think they got up to a couple $100. Nothing to get all turned on about or anything. But the checks started going up, and I kept working and working. And some friends that seen us before that's in our business now said every time I seen you, you got a phone in each ear. And this is what you have to do. You make a definite commitment. You make a choice. It's like a book Dr. Shad Helmstead or Bob Schmidt used to talk about it. Your life is about choices. You make choices right, wrong, and different. And a lot of us, if you're doing anything consistent in your life, you're going to make some good choices. You're going to make some bad choices. But finally she called into the home loss call Zango and said, I want to put my name on. She put Steve and Cindy Hall. And then the checks got up maybe $300 or $500 a month. And before you know, somebody told her, some brainstorm idea, to change it to Steve or Cindy. And the checks kept going bigger and bigger. So finally she called in and she changed it again, like I said, to Steve or Cindy, from Steve and Cindy. I don't know if they're even, she don't even show me anymore. I get a little bit of allowance, but things went nuts and it just kept growing. We kept working it just like every successful person in Zango. It's not a lottery. It's a dedication. It's devotion. It's working, and it's trying to put the prospect first and you second, and trying to find out what you can do to help them and going through the numbers. And that's the toughest thing about our business, is finding somebody that wants to change their life, that wants something different, and you can't take it personal because, and be honest with you, the numbers are against you in any field. It's like Jim Rohn used to talk about a guy that plays baseball. He gets 3 hits, and 3 hits out of 10, and they pay him $4 million. Well, the majority of the people out there aren't successful in any field. 95% of the people are just there. And if you want to be in that 1% or 2%, you're going to have to do the extraordinary. You have to do that. And sometimes when you look back, I look back now and say, thank the good Lord upstairs, because one door closed. I was maybe hotsy-totsy, feeling this, buying this new house in the golf village and everything, and all of a sudden the rug's gone. And when you drop from $20,000+ a month down to $10, that's a wake-up call. So you find out what you're made of. And at that time, and then it's kept growing. We have a great product. It's patent. I want to talk about a couple of them things and show a couple testimonials. But the thing about it is, within our 24th month in the business of not hard work, nobody gave us anything. We worked 24/7, but our checks went over $30,000 a month. And boy, did that improve our relationship. And like I said, I don't know if my name's on a check anymore, Collie, but that's kind of our roller coaster, up and down, massive action. Just do what you got to do. It's like Ray Heron said. You've said it. Grace has said it. Everyone you talk about, and Sandy's story is similar to ours. Is on top of the mountain, and then you're at the bottom in the valley, and that's what you do. But life goes on, and it's up to you whether you're going to continue, you're going to stop. And so I thank the good Lord that we didn't. We just kept working. We've developed some of the greatest friends I've ever had in my lifetime. We've been involved, been fortunate enough to be, had a friend that called us about one of the greatest companies of all time, Zango, and we happened to be part of it, and we were there and it worked. And finally now the home's paid for, and we did something, the smartest thing after our past experience we did with Bob Smith. We took 20-25% of everything we made, and we put it away, made some investment, paid the house off, the cars off, and things like that. So it's been a great opportunity. As far as the product, I'm going to get, if you got a minute, can you show that other slide? I don't know what slide that is. That's Gray Stick's slide. You're cheating on me now. Oh, there, now can you go back a couple? Not the good-looking picture. There. We love the product, and I was trying to talk to somebody with a testimonial, and Sin said, why don't you just throw ours? A couple years ago in 2013 or 2015, I don't know what happened. I woke up one night, and I don't know, I fell out of bed, and we have a real heavy nightstand, and I hit straight on the nightstand. That's my hand, forearm. I cut that. I had bruises on my head. Totally knocked me out. A little beat up. I mean, I'm not the most beautiful person in the world anyway, but you can see how bad I was bruised, and thank God the doctor said, good thing the swelling went outside instead of in. And I'm laying in the hospital bed, and I was totally unconscious, knocked out. They rushed me to the thing, and they didn't know if I just got. Sometimes I've talked to some other doctors. Sometimes you jump out of bed, you go to the bathroom or something at night, and the blood rushes. Or they didn't know if I had a seizure, and they didn't know what all of. I went to cardiologists, neurologists. They had over 70-some pages of test results on me. I've got personal doctors here and personal friends that are doctors that I've known before that in Zango, and they wanted me to keep having tests. But the good thing about it, after I had all them tests, they couldn't find anything. And if you can go to the next slide, I think I got a couple other ones in there. my kids, they were so scared because my daughter lived in California in Westwood at that time. My son lived down in Tampa. She was on a plane back, and it really made me feel good that even though sometimes your kids go in different directions, they were here. She got in a plane, was there the next day. They were up and I was unconscious. When I woke up, they were there. And Cindy just loves, we always loved the juice. We're past retirement age. We've been drinking the juice for 13 years along with the Elevie, all the other products, but we love the juice, and fortunately we're in great health. And they came in, and Cindy started using the Pericarb. Now, you've seen the pictures. Can you go one more picture? Okay, well, I think you skipped over one, but go through the pictures. That one, I went in the hospital on March the 4th. The kids came in. They've got there by March the 6th. And the last picture, now look at this picture and look at the last picture. Go one more. Collie, don't fall asleep on me, sweetheart. One more. One more. One more.
That's all of them.
No. Where's the one I got? No, go one more past this one. Go past this one. Sandy, come on, get home from Korea. There you go. Okay. Now, you've seen from March 4th, and I don't claim to be ready for Hollywood, but in 9 days, Cindy was pouring Pericarb all over me, and I was doubling the juice and going crazy. Now, if you don't believe in these products, let me tell you, you're dancing in the wrong town with the wrong company. These products are out of this world, not making any claims, but that in 9 days, you've seen how beat up I was from hitting that thing. So that's my story, roller coaster ride. It's been a gift from above. The products are phenomenal. And I've got another friend that we've been friends for a long time. He's a very successful business person out of Tampa. Everybody on the call probably knows him. He's in our group. We've done a lot of things together. And I asked Phil Ballard if he would come on and tell a little bit about his background. And then I got a couple little notes about, maybe some key things that you should do. And you got Phil Ballard on there. Phil, give him a little idea about your background, what you're doing, and what do you think about this amazing company.
I'd love to. Steve, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Steve's exactly right. I am a long-time Tampa business person. I've owned 8 different conventional businesses, successful, by the way, here in Tampa for well over 35 years until one day in a produce business that we happened to have owned, a large grocery and produce, which was out of the way of what I also do too, but we've been into it. I met a gentleman that gave me a tape about another way of life, and that way of life is exactly what everybody on this phone does. And he thought that I would only take a look at the product because at that age I probably was half crazy when I was younger. But after reaching age 40, I started really caring about myself and taking care of my health, or trying to. We'd had a lot of health challenges earlier in our lives from being involved in business. Stomach cut open, darn near losing all my blood, and just thing after thing after thing. And it was all stress-related from owning your own business. With all the government regulations, everything else that were coming down the pike, we could see that it was no longer successfully able to draw the kind of profit a year that we were drawing out of our businesses for year after year after year. It just kept going up, everything, building, help, everything. That you had to train people twice as much if they didn't have the will to work like they had. So to make a long story short, they say in a man's lifespan, he first of all, run with the right people if you want to be successful. I'd always been entrepreneurial. I started my first business at age 19. I'm 77 today, so we've been pretty successful in the business world. But I was fortunate enough to meet 2 people in my life. One was Bob Schmidt, and that happened to have been in the first business, the first little shot that I got at taking a look at this type business. And I jumped in it not because of the business opportunity, but because of the product. And the product worked. It was much like the Zango juice. It was a mineral, and it was very, very, very good. It helped me with a lot of problems that I had. But it really taught Bob, through listening to Bob, I learned probably one of the best mentors you could ever have out there outside of Ray Herring and Jim Rum. I could think of that you could find, maybe Collie and Sandy, but I was fortunate enough to listen to him and really understand what the potential of this business was. And lo and behold, he went in one direction and I went in another, and Steve was talking about that legal business that he got involved in, and I happened to have gotten attached to that as well, and I was fortunate enough to meet the second person in my life that is not only a friend, but I consider a mentor, even though I'm older than he is. But Steve and Cindy Hall are two of the finest people I've ever met in my life. I don't even consider them business partners. I consider them part of our family, and that's why we've been together so many years. So, but to make a long story short, that was the second person that I got involved with, and thank God I did. We jumped into this business, back into the legal thing, and was highly successful. But when the things that happened to Steve, through no fault of his own, through that business, even though I was successful in it and liked it very much, I got out at the same time he did, and I went into the other business that he started. And Steve and I have been together more or less pretty much the same ever since then, except for when he was having his troubles and went down, got out of that business, and I got out and went into something else. Well, when Steve got attached to Zango, he called me, and I said, I'll take the juice, but I'm doing something else, and I just don't want to. The more I kept watching him and drinking the juice and finding, my God, this juice is starting to work. I can't believe a juice could do. And it wasn't just myself, it was my wife, and our health just kept improving and improving, and not just one or two things. So I don't want to give a testimonial about the product, because we all know the product works. What I was really starting to look at was the success that the different people, and especially Steve, was starting to have in the business. And from being an entrepreneur and owning 8 different successful businesses for over 35 years, I knew we had ourselves a winner. These guys, and I've always studied people at the top of anything that I've ever gotten involved in. If you've got the proper owners in place, and buddy, we've got them in place. With these founders and Beverly Hollister, if you can't make it here, you're in the wrong business. Just don't even try to go somewhere else where the grass is greener, because it isn't any greener. I've been here too almost from the start. When I got back, I called Steve at 11:30 one night, and I said, Steve, I'm in 6 other things, and I got out of, and I'm drawing a check from them all, and I'm getting out of every one of them. I'm going with you 100%. I've been drinking this juice. I'm going to double my order on that, and we're going to go to town. How about coming to Tampa? He came to Tampa. We met a few people and jumped out, and you know the excitement. If anybody in the world knows Steve and Cindy Hall, that's pure excitement. Well, I caught a glimpse of that and got excited and became a 5K in 2 weeks, and we were shooting on to 20K. We got excited. We got some people in Tampa excited, and I found a way of life that I will never, ever give up. I've been doing this now for over 20 years. I've been fortunate enough to be around the people. And I mentioned Bob Schmidt and I mentioned Steve Hall, and look at this company alone with Sandy and Ed, and look at Collie Butler, and look at Ray Herring, and look at my God, the people that we've got into this company that are just, they're heirlooms in the business. These people can teach people how to run a successful business, let alone this type business. All you got to do is reach out and ask them. And they've got every tool in the business now. I was playing around in the back office of Zango today and the different videos and the things that they put together. And then Collie Butler's put together, Sandy and Collie, a site with every tool in the world to help people today. It's a networking business. It is working, but my God, the tools that you've got. A person at my age, at 77, if you sit and use the tools and develop a relationship with a person, you really don't even have to get out of your chair hardly to run this business. If you're honest and you don't try to put on something that isn't, just tell people the honest truth about what you're doing, how you came about, and the opportunity to meet these type of people that are in Zango. And that isn't even including the owners and the founders. If you ever get to meet any of them, my God, you'll know you're in the right place at the right time. There have been many, many people leave this company, the highly successful people and unsuccessful people. since I got involved in this, and I've watched many of them come back, those that Zango allowed to come back, and every one of them to the person is thrilled to death if they ever let them come back in, because folks, this company is where it is. This industry is where it is. And with everything going on in the world today, the way it is, after 35 years of beating my head against the wall in conventional business, my God, what we've got our hands on here. Doesn't cost you anything to become involved in the company. Doesn't cost you anything to become a customer in the company. All you have to do is place an order. I paid more for envelopes and stationery in my first business that I started at 19 than it does to get involved with a couple of $100 worth of product today and develop a business. And you can do it globally and get paid upon other people's work. It just doesn't get any better than what this company has developed, and that's why they're going on now 15 years old and one of the most successful companies in this industry. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks a lot. And just closing, that's how you develop relationships like we have, Collie has. Everybody's on this line has got some people. I say I've been so much closer to people I've worked here than your relatives. You know, you go out of town, and I go past the relatives. They're happy if you don't stop. You go out of town, you run by somebody that's in your Zango business. They're ticked off if you don't call them, you know. But just in closing, you know, we live in a world of instant gratification. I want to mention something, a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And for some of the brand new people on the line tonight, you know, there isn't anything. You can win a lottery ticket if you're fortunate to do that. But there's no way. It takes some time. You see the 40-40 plan, that's dead. But get that book, The Slight Edge. I'd recommend that, along with, like I said, you know, choices. But The Slight Edge is, if you want to accomplish something in Zango, just set them 8 to 10 hours a week. Make a commitment, and like Ray Heron talks about a lot of times, you know, make that massive action. That's what we had to do. We had to do it out of desperation because we were going to lose something valuable to us. But The Slight Edge, and if you sit down and break something down, if you want to lose 20 pounds, you don't try to do it in the first day. You break down how many calories a day, and if you can eliminate 200 or 300 calories in the 6-month period, you're going to get there. But just in closing, I'd say for some of the people who are brand new, we've got a lot of products. You're not going to love them all, but we have enough that you're going to love some of them. Find a company, a product you like. Find a solid company. It's like Phil mentioned there, too. The first 5 years in Zango, we did $1 billion. And I tell people, I say, that's $1 billion. Sometimes they don't realize. I say, that's $1,000 million. That's credibility that for your 14-year-old company now. Find a support system. Like you said, you got Collie and has put together a new thing with Sandy. You know, you got the gift from us and the new website, the Zango sites and all that. So you got support, your sponsor, your upline. Get a great comp plan. The people that's on this line and the amount of money that some people have made with a 50-50 plan, you can't find a better plan. You need to develop residual income. I mean, if you can't put 20, 10, even 10, 15, 20% away of your whatever you're doing right now every month into something, you're never going to have something in retirement age, believe me. And if you can't do that, you need something. And people today, I don't care, I'm an advocate of education. I would have robbed banks to get my kids. They both graduated from honors in college, but that doesn't guarantee them success. You need to leverage your time. And this network marketing, it's got an opportunity. And I know I have got a lot of, and like I know Grace and colleagues on the phone, we have a lot of personal friends that are successful doctors, lawyers, and I'm not downplaying any of that. I don't know any of them that have the time freedom we have. And the amount, and like I said, we're a $1 million club, multi-million-dollar club, and it's not that we're talented, it's just we work hard. So the residual income and the tax breaks, I mean, they're incredible. You need to really do some research before you say yes or no with all that. There's over 150-some different tax breaks out there. And if you just set a plan, a goal, that it's possible. You know, we've got hundreds of people that earn millions. We've got thousands, tens of thousands of people that are making $500, $1,000 a month. And believe me, an extra $1,000 a month that change people's lifestyle. and try to sponsor up. You know, it's always people, you know, they're going to test market it on the paper boy or this person or that, not downplaying, but sponsor up, because you find out there are a lot of people disgruntled. They're getting into their 30s and 40s in their career, and it's not what it is. You want to sponsor up. And you want to, this is like Bob Smith used to say over and over again, redundant, this is a relationship business, and people don't care until they know you care. And when you put the person, your prospect, first, and you put you second, is when you're really going to grow. And I kind of think from Sandy's thing the other day, which I think is great, take this with you. You know, she said we have two wild cards in life, health and money. And you need them both. You have an opportunity to have them both here. You have an opportunity with the advantage to travel, the tax breaks and stuff, to do all that. And then I'd like to just close again by referencing one of Bob Smith's favorite books called Dr. Shad Helmstettler, Choices. And the choice is yours. You're going to make the choice one way or another, and you're not going to talk people into it. You know, people are going to do exactly what they do. And I always used to say you can't push dead bears up trees, because they're going to do whatever. Don't take it personal. Just have massive actions and go for it. And God bless you, colleague. God bless everybody that took time out for this call. Hope it was good. Hope you picked up something from it, and hope to see you again. And I don't know, Colin, can I go to do a 2-for-1 and throw a punch thing in for our encouragement call?
Absolutely.
We have a Wednesday encouragement call. We've been going about a year on it. You can either send me an email if you want to be part of it, just Steve Hall, and the letters WGV, like World Golf Village, at iCloud, or the number is 712-770-4010. The pin's 904-359-pound. We've had Sandy, Collie, we've had Grace, we've had, you name them. And these people are wonderful people that are out there to help you. And that's amazing compared to today's business where everybody's trying to get ahead and they're not there to help you. So, Collie, love you to death. Sad when you moved. Hope you come back again. You always know you got a place to stay.
Awesome, Steve. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing from your heart here tonight, folks. This Wednesday night and every Wednesday night, Steve does these encouragement calls, which are fantastic because all of us do need encouragement sometimes. Life has its ups and downs, and I've certainly been at the top and the bottom and the top and the bottom and all over in between myself. And so those calls are really helpful. Thank you. And next Monday night we'll be back with another opportunity call from another Zango $1 Million earner. So tune in every Monday night with your best prospects and let us help you share the message of health and wellness and abundance with the Zango opportunity. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Steve. Good night, all.
Thanks, Collie. Love you, honey. Bye.